Hey, podcast peeps. Thanks for stopping in. Super excited to share a conversation with the amazingly talented musician, producer, and relatively new father of two, Cody Dickinson. Cody Dickinson comes from a musical family that includes the legendary player and producer Jim Dickinson, his brother Luther, who Cody teams up with for the legendary group, the North Mississippi Allstars, and a wonderfully supportive lady that puts up with all of their noise, Mom Dickinson. We speak about musical projects of the past, life as a husband and dad, and about his new solo album, Homemade, slated for release on June 21st. I've been a big fan of the Dickinson family for many, many years. I'm very grateful to Cody for hopping on the phone with me for a bit this week. I hope you enjoy.
City in the heart of town. Turn the lights on, generate some heat. Lay the drums down, way back on the beat. Blow your horn, stomp your feet. Everybody singing, joyful sound. Spill the big city in the heart of town. We're working on a building.
How are you?
Hey, doing very well, thanks. How's it going?
It's going good, man. I'm just I'm an old Athens dude, Panic dude. I first got turned on to you guys with Shake Hands with Shorty and started this podcast.
Oh, man.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Dude, that is incredible. And how do I pronounce your name again? Is it Ario?
It's Aereo, like stereo.
Aereo, man. Well, very cool name, first of all, and super cool to meet you, man.
You too.
Thanks for doing this.
You won't remember this, I don't think, but I fanned out on you one time. It's been many years ago, probably 10 years ago. I had picked up on the fact somehow that you were using a Sprint phone, and I worked for Sprint. And I remember messaging you and saying, "Hey, man, if you ever need a new phone, let me know."
Oh, well, first of all, I missed that, and I really appreciate that. I wish I had caught it, man, because I used Sprint for a long, long time.
Oh, no, you did. You did.
Very generous.
No, you totally replied. You were like, "Yeah, man, cool. Thank you for being a fan." I was like, "Oh, why did I?
Oh, that's killer.
Why did I do that? That was so lame." Well, Cody Dickinson, it's really good to meet you. I just want to let you know you are probably, I think you're the best looking Dickinson. How does that make you feel?
Aereo, you're man. We're gonna be best friends, man. I love that. Thank you, man. I need that.
I have a best friend of mine who grew up in Germantown. I know that you're an old Memphis guy. Were you born in Memphis, or were you born?
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay.
That's where out East Memphis is where we were as kids. I was born in Memphis.
Okay.
And I grew up outside of Memphis, outside of Germantown, east in a small town called Collierville.
Okay.
Outside of Collierville, in a very small town called Rossville.
Okay.
And then moved to Mississippi when I was about in 4th or 5th grade, around 10 years old.
That's where you met Big Chew and down there that way.
Exactly, man. You know, we moved to Hernando and went to DeSoto County schools, and I was actually in junior high with Chris. He was an athlete, man. He was a star athlete, you know. And we actually did play music a little bit, yeah. But it was just an incredible, creative place to grow up, you know.
No doubt. And that was going to be one of my questions for you off the top. Obviously, everybody knows who your dad is. I had done another podcast episode and was using a snippet from a Flat Duo Jet song off their album called Go Go Harlem Baby. Didn't realize your dad produced that album, and so that was kind of a cool connection to make. But so obviously everybody knows your dad. Obviously, he's But what was it like growing up in that environment? Like, I watched another interview you did, and you talked about how your dad would kind of go out of his way to let you guys sit in a day on a project and kind of expose you to some of that stuff. But
yeah,
was it just music all the time
incredible.
Was it just music all the time in the Dickinson house?
Well, I'll tell you what, to go back to the Flat Duo Jets,
it
was that's an awesome, man, that is a great reference. And what an influential band, and they were so far ahead of their time, I think, and
Dexter was such a character.
Record, absolutely, I'm impressed, man. You really know your stuff. That's a deep cut, and they're a underground band, but man, they think about like just the innovation. I got to see them, so this is what it was like.
Okay.
But to jump ahead and answer the question, man, it was incredible, man. It was so fun growing up. My dad and my mom were such loving parents, and the music that I was exposed to was just insane. Like as a kid, I went to an in-store performance with the Flat Duo Jets.
Oh, okay.
Right? I think the drummer's name was Crow, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Dexter, the singer. It was just a duo. And as a kid, so here I am seeing this amazing music happen, and I didn't even know how to play drums yet, but I remember Crow was using brushes, and just the energy and being exposed to that kind of thing as a kid was awesome. It was so fun, man. And the studio too, like going to the studio with him, it was a spaceship,
He was such a neat dude. And like, I remember we grew up in Athens, obviously. And I remember Dexter kind of kicking around town, and he was very eccentric for his time, although Athens was kind of exploding at the time. So it wasn't really that strange. But man, he could do shit with his guitar that was just crazy for me. Like, having listened to REM and my folks were into Led Zeppelin and all that stuff. He was just such a cool dude. Like you just couldn't help but like be drawn to him. He had this energy about him.
That's incredible. Absolutely, man. That was like my dad's specialty, with like, he really championed the artist, and bands like the Flat Duo Jets, they valued that, so I think that was a big part of his career, big part of the formula, was his relationship with the artists,
So you're a young guy, you're around your dad. Obviously you're getting to meet some cool people. How did you guys get involved and meet like Arl Burnside and Junior Kimbrough? Like, were those folks that were in your dad's orbit, or just folks that kind of happened to be local there in Mississippi that you just sort of discovered?
Well, I mean, both. Like, he moved us there certainly intentionally. The amazing thing was that we were just in the same community. We all lived in Tate County. Well, I guess he was technically in Marshall County, but like RL, but RL's house was right down the street from Zebra Ranch, our place with my dad, where his studio was, and where Luther and I lived for a period of time before we moved out. And it was just like, man, we were just neighbors, and I met Gary Burnside and Cedric through Eric Deaton, who's a guitar player, singer here in Mississippi. And, he was going to the community college. So that gives you an idea what age we were. We were teenagers. And I got to know RL and Junior through their kids. I was friends with Dwayne and man, David Kimbrough, Kent Kimbrough. And we would go down to the club on Sunday night. Man, living out in the country like that, man, it was the thing to do. It was just fun on the Sunday. We were just, I had no idea how influential it was going to be on my career at the time. You know what I mean? Right. It was I was just playing music and hanging out. But like to answer your question about my dad, it was interesting that, he was certainly, he was very hands-on when we were kids, and he helped us learn how to play and kind of steer the ship with, like, when he knew I was going to be serious about drumming, he, told me to practice every day and like use a metronome and really helpful basic stuff. I was also going to school. I was like in the school band, learning the rudiments and stuff in marching band. But all that being said, when we got older, man, he kind of let us do our thing. You know, he was and he was busy too. Obviously, he was working and he had his career going. So we there was some like cross influence there between like his people and our people, but the North Mississippi Allstars for the most part was very much our creation and our, I don't know, it was just sort of what we made a living on the road.
Sure.
When I say we, me and my brother Luther Dickinson, we were going out and doing gigs like in college towns and stuff and playing on Beale Street and whatever, and he was more of a studio guy, so we kind of honestly had separate orbits professionally.
Yeah, absolutely.
That makes sense.
No, it makes total sense. And I got big into Widespread Panic starting in the mid 90s. I knew who they were and like they were in Athens. So of course it was one of those acts that had, was playing all the time there. But I got introduced to you guys. And whenever I got Shake Hands with Shorty and subsequently 51 Phantom, man, you guys, I mean, you still put out some amazing music, but those two albums for me were like, oh, there's these guys just a couple states over that are my age that are ripping it up. So I had to pay you that compliment, because whenever I discovered Shake Hands with Shorty, I was like, oh, damn, this is some good stuff.
Yeah, well, same. It was a very exciting time for us too, man. It was super organic the way that music happened. And like Panic, I remember hearing them for the first time and getting their records. Like they were signed to, I guess they're on Capricorn. Like they were super successful. Like the first time I saw Panic, they had sold out the New Daisy. They were always successful, but at that age, they seemed just older than, they just seemed like a different generation. Right. But my dad produced Beanland, right? Which is the band that JoJo came from in Mississippi.
Yeah.
With George McConnell.
Yes.
So they had a record that they recorded in Memphis. So my dad, I already knew JoJo, right? In fact, I think I saw Beanland open for Panic before JoJo joined, right? And so this is way back, right? But obviously they got super successful, and it was really cool to see, especially when JoJo joined. That was kind of the magic formula for them. That was the secret sauce, I think, that kind of took it over the top. At the same time, like Luther and I, like we were just out playing gigs, man. We were just working musicians. We kind of got some traction in Cleveland, Mississippi. Jackson, Mississippi, and like Oxford and Vicksburg actually was the first town to sell out for us. And I remember doing a Christmas party down there, and there's this dude named Dale. God bless you, Dale, if you're hearing this. He was like, "Hey man, when are you guys gonna do a CD? When are you gonna make a CD?" I was like, "Man, we're not even thinking about it." Like we were just so organic all of those years playing clubs and just getting ready, you know what I mean?
Totally.
For what was to come.
Yeah, you were growing up in that area, what is it about that Mississippi Delta area that gave birth to such good blues music? Was it just kind of, being from Georgia, I can relate a little bit because it's in the South, but was it just what's your take on that whole region, just the blues heritage from there?
I work on these film series called Take Me to the River.
Yes.
I'm a co-creator and co-producer on this project, and it's turned into a nonprofit education initiative.
Oh shit.
But really started as a music collaboration album, and it grew to a documentary film, and now we did one on Memphis, one on New Orleans. Now we're working on one, Take Me to the River, London, which is very interesting and challenging in its own ways. But we took a deep dive on this, which is, what is it about that area that creates so many? I mean, there's some crazy statistic of just like the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame members alone. Like there's like a lion's share of them are from that general area.
That's
right?
crazy. Like
the Delta surrounding region, the Elvis effect, you know what I mean? Man, it's all about the people, it's a culture. It is a way of life. Music is also in the church, it comes from the church. There's a big crossover between the blues and gospel. it's just very, very American, for lack of a better word. You know, it's like what makes us special, man. You know, it's just a amazing collision of culture and ideas and music and melody and instruments. You know what I mean? It's a global world music influence, you know, that kind of, this was just, you know, the oven. This is where it cooked. But Georgia, you know, is incredible. I mean, my goodness, you look at, there's that poster downstairs in the dressing room of the Variety Playhouse in Atlanta. That's like, it's the shape of Georgia, I think, the state, but it has just like everybody from Outkast to REM, all the, you know, drive-by truckers, the list just goes on and on. It's mind-boggling, dude. And there is no simple answer as to why, but I think it just comes down to the people. It's the people.
Yeah.
Make it happen.
That's a good point too. And I hadn't thought about the church because, I mean, there's certainly a lot of cross filtering that happens between, I don't want to say religion, but the church and church choirs and blues. And I guess, I hadn't thought about it that way. And I'm going to have to go watch Take Me to the River. Is that what it's called? I'm sorry.
Yes, Take Me to the River, Memphis, and then there's Take Me to the River, New Orleans.
Shame on me for not
having watched it. We go deep on this.
Okay.
No problem, man. Yeah, but it's a labor of love. We work our tails off on it, but I'm real proud of it, man. I've learned a lot doing it too. Mainly what I do with that project, Martin Shore, the director, is he's one of my best friends, man, and just a really, really cool guy. But my main role is I kind of build the production team at the beginning. I kind of help line up the people, the producers who can make it happen, and Martin takes it from there, and he does all the heavy lifting.
Now,
God bless him.
Was it Junior Kimbrough that had the quote unquote juke joint that you guys used to go check out? Is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. It's Junior Kimbrough's club. I sing about it on Homemade. Now this is a very, very easy segue into the new record, because the first song, the album is called Homemade, and the first song on the record is called Homemade Blues. It comes out in the next couple of weeks, very soon.
Yep.
I think the digital version comes out this next week, actually, but I'm super excited to share this music. But I talk about what we're going to say, bro.
Oh, I was going to say if I go to Apple now, I did listen to Big City, Walk Right In, and Goodbye Albuquerque Tuesday night. So those three are up now.
Great.
People can check them out.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing that. Yes, please go listen, share it with your friends. This music it's very personal record for me, but it's also meant for everyone. And I hope that everybody can find some enjoyment and something they can relate to. But the first song, Homemade Blues, on the record is totally autobiographical. And I'm very descriptive of going to Junior's and hanging out, watching them play, and what it was like, and the people who were there. And and when you hear they're like, there is no symbolism when you hear descriptive lyrics in that song. It's all literal and real.
I love it.
So and it's I say it's homemade, smooth as lemonade, tastes like turpentine, it's homemade muscadine wine. And I'm talking about the music and the booze, because it was all homemade, and and that's the gig. That's the thing.
I'm gonna definitely check that out. And shout out to Mavis for making an appearance.
Oh,
I was listening, and I was like, what's that sound? And I was like, oh, he's got a kid in there with him. And I did a little research. I was like, oh, that's his baby. One of his babies.
Mavis, yeah. So Mavis is my girl. She's 3 going on 4, and Ozzy is my boy. He's 2. And with that song, I was, she was just barely 2 years old when she did that. She was a little baby, man. So and cute. For the majority of the recording of this record, I would do it early in the morning. I have 2 kids, and
same.
I touring. Oh, God bless. It's the best, is it not, man? It's just unbelievable. But in the morning, everybody be asleep, and I'm kind of an early riser, so I would get up at like 3, sometimes 4 in the morning, and write and record, right? And that was when I made the majority of the record was done like that. And the kids would wake up, and she would come upstairs. She would make her way upstairs and sit on my lap, right? So I was just cutting the vocal for Goodbye Albuquerque, and she came in and grabbed the mic and started going like, dad, or going, ha, ha, and doing like these, like singing. And I realized that she was doing like these ad libs, and it had like so much attitude and like sass and stuff. I was like, this is amazing. And then when I played it back, I realized that what she was doing was like not only in time, but that song in particular, is about family and like missing them and calling them and being on tour.
Yeah, coming back.
The whole sentiment is, it's like, I say so long Cleveland Sunday evening, goodbye Albuquerque Tuesday night. I'm saying I'm not going to be there doing these gigs, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm saying goodbye to a certain chapter in my life, literally. And then she comes in, I'm like, I called her on the phone, all alone, words were spoken, and she goes, dad. And I was like, this is compositional. This is like, I tried to take it out, and it's like, it was not as good. It was like what she did added so much to the song, man. I just had to leave it. Plus, it was on my track.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? It's on my vocal tracks I was singing. But so what you hear there is live and unrehearsed. It's completely real in that sense. You know what I mean? It's not prompted. She didn't have her own. I wasn't like, here, maybe sing a part here, which would be fine. You know what I mean? But she just jumped in there, man. So yeah, thank you for giving her a shout out.
Yeah,
man.
Absolutely.
It's also her artwork on the record.
Yes.
That's all her digital art, and the cover is like some watercolors that she and my wife Michelle were doing. So
that's fantastic. How is married life treating you right now? A little more than a year ago, right? You got married?
It's the best. Yes. Yeah. Man, thank you so much. That's very sweet, man, to know. But like we married over a year. We got two sweet children, and it is the best, man. I waited till later in life, and it was the time for me. I wish I could have done it sooner because I really like it,
Yeah, absolutely. I was going to ask,
how about you?
Life's good. I honestly, I went through divorce the end of 2022, but my kids are here. So we do.
Man.
Well, yeah. we're still good friends. They're here a week. They go home a week. They're here a week. Go back to mom a week. So things are working out well. I'm a little bit.
That is awesome.
Yeah,
good, man.
I'm a little bit outside of Atlanta. I'm kind of like 30 minutes from Athens. I missed you guys when you came to Dalton, and I was so wrecked when I missed you, and I missed Cedric when he played the Georgia Theater, and I was like, okay, that is not happening again. but life is.
We'll be back.
Good.
Hey, we'll be back through.
Go
and
ahead.
I hope to be back with this record.
Yeah, absolutely. I was going to ask you, as it relates to records, I had this question kind of knocking around in my head, and I think you're the right guy to ask this of. You gave an interview. Sure. You gave an interview about 11, 12 years ago, and you talked about a moment in time where you had an interaction with somebody that was talking about how they've been listening to you guys a lot on Napster. And I think you said that at that moment you'd kind of realized that the music world had changed a bit. Relating back to that moment and this new album coming out, what is, for people that don't understand the relationship between artists and streaming as it is today, can you get into that a little bit and how that affects how you guys get paid for lack of a better term, for your art?
Absolutely, man. Well, that's a true story, and I remember it like it was yesterday. That happened a long time ago. That was when our first record came out and was experiencing some commercial success. And it was the shocking thing about it was the kid meant nothing by it, but he walked up to me and he was like, "Are you from the North Mississippi Allstars?" I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "I listen to your music all day on Napster," and I was like, "Thank you, that's awesome." But what shocked me was that he saw nothing wrong with it. Right. That like the what I'm saying, and there was nothing. It was fine, you know what I mean? But like that was just the writing on the wall. Music is the canary in the coal mine, so to speak. Our industry took the hit first, and and I think some industries are still just now starting to feel the effects of the digital revolution or whatever. Mm-hmm. But in terms of how it affects, man, that's a really good question. It's a complicated question. Yeah. I just, in my lifetime, the music industry, it's weird to call it an industry or a business because everyone is basically we're all like entrepreneurs or whatever. We're all sort of running our own businesses in together,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
Yeah. And I work, but that being said, like,
And I ask
meaning
you,
the different artists
and
and the different bands. So we cohabitate the same worlds, like the same, I guess, retail outlet type places. Like our portals are the same, but the way we navigate is completely unique. Like each artist has their own story and their own arc, you know. And so it's really hard to generalize. It's almost impossible. I find myself, I think I'm tempted to give younger artists advice, and I always bite my tongue because I'm like, their journey is going to be different from mine, and I don't want to project my experience onto them. Now, obviously, if there's something specific they ask me, I'm happy to share.
Right.
But you know, I'm not going to go around and tell Marcus King not to get a tour bus, even though I probably think it's a waste of money. I joke, but that's the kind of thing I'm talking about. You know, I'll be hanging out with these young kids and young artists, and I'm just like, oh my God, there's so many trappings. Like the industry is set up to sort of eat artists alive.
Totally.
But now that's like my dad speaking, that's like I'm channeling like his spirit, you know. Now let me say this. This is the pushback to that, which is very alive and thriving today, which is I have the most incredible team of people I'm working with on the release of this record right now. That I'm so happy. It's like my label, they support me, and they validate my creativity in a way that elevates me to do things that I couldn't normally do. You know, so it is a awesome professional relationship. My management rolls up their sleeves, they get in there and they're crushing it. The publicist, the publicity, Karen is incredible. So I'm so happy right now, and it's working, you know, so I think it's in a really good place. And to come full circle, like the way the music is monetized and the value in music has completely changed. Like when I was a kid, you know, we would go to the record store and buy the physical product. And that's what my dad did. I mean, he raised his family, he raised me in an industry that doesn't exist anymore in that way. So, you know, but what it has turned into is sort of this, now it's like created this, we're in this place where everyone has the tools. Anyone can make a record now. Anyone can put a record out. And that's a beautiful thing, man. Like I feel like we're in this very exciting time it's almost like a renaissance. I say it's like an explosion of output of creative art, like video, music, like you name it, you know. And I think we'll look back on this time as being very exciting, you know, for artists. So I feel like the ivory towers are down, so to speak. You know, it's like it's fair game for anybody who's willing to put the time and the effort into and have the passion to create.
And that was something I didn't know about you, which was, you know, watching the time a little bit. I want to be respectful of your day. You've done You've done a lot of producing and a lot of collaborating. Is there anybody out there that you are listening to or artists that you're working with that people should be checking out? Anybody you want to plug?
I love this question, man. I should have started with this, you know, because it's yes. So there's incredible, man. So many. I'm on a heavy metal kick right now. Me and my kids are like listening to Falling in Reverse. There's a song called Ronald that's like the heaviest thing I've ever heard. Like it's like 2025 heavy metal or something. It's just incredible, man. The videos, they're all like cinematic masterpieces, dude. I mean, it's sort of like it's video game stuff. It's like Elden Ring or whatever. I don't play those games, but it's like it's a lot of animation, and so we've been on a kick with like that lately. And there's like a new drummer in Slipknot. This guy, I'm gonna butcher his name. He's Brazilian, but he's amazing. And again, there's also a good young drummer named Luke Holland in Falling in Reverse. So there's like this new, and to kind of come back what we were talking about earlier about the new generation with the internet and how much it's changed creativity. The drumming has like taken this next level. Like it's Eloy Calisandro or something like that. He's Brazilian, but this drummer in Slipknot is amazing, man. And like these are like YouTube drummers who do the covers, and they go on there and they I just feel like they've like reached a new plateau of like, or that's the wrong word, 'cause it's continuing to elevate, but it's just like 2.0 version of drumming that's starting to make its way into heavy metal music. It's very exciting. There's this artist from California named McGee. It's MK.GEE, who is fantastic, man.
I'm writing these down.
He's like, yeah, man, like check out any of his live clips, or like there's a live video he did of us doing a song called Are You Looking Up? And it's fantastic, man. He's like got that LA sound where it's like Blake Mills kind of meets Ry Cooder meets Radiohead or something. Like he's got this lo-fi kind of noise thing that he incorporates in his music very intentionally. Okay. It's interesting to hear these kids, like I say kids like late 20s, whatever, who are using like 80s influences, but it's not nostalgic. It's because it's by choice. It's a creative decision. So he's one of those. There's another singer that he works with in that McGee world called Dijon, Dijon. Incredible, man. This kid's like, it's like every once in a while I'll find this music, I'll stumble on, I'll be like, what is this? And I'll dig deeper, and it like amazing. Usually it's like incredible stuff doesn't happen in a void. There's like somewhere it's coming from. There's a scene that's birthing this thing. And so I just find all these other artists that are related that I love too. We all do that, right?
Yeah.
But like this guy Dijon, he's like I would say he's like a combination of like Andre 3000 meets Bob Dylan, right? Like it's not rap as much as a singer, but like he's incredible.
You imagine if
else,
Andre 3000 and Bob Dylan had a child? That would be amazing.
If they did, it would be this guy
Dijon.
You know, yeah, I really think so. You know, they're kind of in that Bon Iver world. They open for him, and I think he supports them. You know, but let me also say, like these are just kind of like pop artists that I like or whatever. But they're also, I'm constantly inspired by my friends, man. Like Dwayne Betts. Yes, his band is on fire. Like his most recent record, Palmetto Motel, is incredible, dude. Okay. You know, Devin Allman, he's got a new record coming out. It's fantastic. I've only heard one song, but I love it. I think it's called Miami Moon. But like, you know, my friends, really, man, like that's who to check out.
Who was that last one you said? Devin
Allman.
Okay, got it.
Devin Allman, yeah. And then, man, Donovan Frankenreiter's got a new record coming out. Got a new song with the Blind Boys of Alabama. Killer. Who else? G Love's always doing great stuff.
Oh yeah.
Man, the list goes on and on. Okay. You know what I mean? It's yeah. But I love talking about music, so thanks for asking.
Well, I'm gonna certainly be waiting. I got one more week until Homemade comes out. But anybody that's out there that's listening to this episode, obviously, go check out North Mississippi Allstars. They've got, I mean, just album after album after album of hits over the years, and of course, Cody's doing his thing. Now, is this your first completely solo release?
It's my first proper one. Okay. I've done a couple, but they were just self-released, and I was kind of just testing the waters. This is the first one where I'm going all in. Well, it's the first with a release, like a proper label.
Well, I got to tell you, I was wondering if you were still tapping around on that washboard, and Electric Washboard is Coming certainly answered that question. I was jamming that in the car last night when I was riding around. So you're still doing your thing, bro.
I have a hilarious story about that, man. So that was just experimental fun, man.
It's great though.
There was, you know, if I'd have taken a more traditional approach, I think I might have had a little more traction with that. I was really, again, you know, these kind of creative, like these sort of, they're all like stepping stones. I'm always learning. And I was dipping my foot in electronic production and really just trying to learn how to engineer and mix. But that record sounds weird and like it's going through a guitar pedal. But
I like it.
But like, thank you so much. I appreciate it, man. You're the best. It was so fun talking.
You too, Cody. And like I said, I want to be a respect for your time, so I won't keep you. But I feel like I could talk to you for hours. So let's do this again in the future.
Yeah. Let's do more, my friend.
All right. Well, good luck on the release. I'll put some music off of Homemade behind it when we put the episode out. Next time you guys are in town, I promise I'm not going to miss it.
Look forward to seeing you, man. We'll see you soon.
All right, brother. Thank you.
All right. Peace, man.
Bye-bye.